I love you not for who you are, but for who I am when I am with you. I find this thought very interesting because it suggests that love is not simply about knowing another person. Love is about what happens inside us when we encounter that person. I can know everything about someone, their history, their achievements, their weak points, their work, their personality. I can know their whole CV, curriculum vitae. But if being with that person awakens nothing in me, all that knowledge remains simply information. It becomes like a book I have read, placed back on a shelf, and never opened again. True knowledge creates a spark. It awakens an emotion, a desire to know the other person more deeply. Knowledge generates passion, and passion creates the desire for deeper knowledge. The two feed each other. But when the spark never happens, knowledge remains only in the mind and never reaches in the heart. I think something similar can happen in our relationship with Jesus. In today's gospel, Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" They gave him different answers, but Jesus is not really interested in public opinion. Jesus is like the philosopher Plato, is not interested in public opinions. He then asked the more important question, "But you, who do you say that I am?" And Peter gives the perfect answer, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." But still, this answer of Peter was incomplete. It is an absolutely correct answer. It is the kind of answer we could give after years of catechism. But I believe Jesus was happy with Peter's answer, not simply because Peter had found the right words, but because Jesus knew that Peter would eventually have to give the answer with his life. Imagine if Peter had given this perfect answer and then walked away from Jesus. Imagine if he had known exactly who Jesus was, but he never allowed that knowledge to change his life. What would that perfect answer have been worth? This is the great challenge of faith. It is possible to know Jesus with our minds without ever allowing him to enter our hearts. Many people have learned about Jesus, especially through catechism and theological studies. They know the stories, they know the teachings, they know the prayers, they know the correct answers, but perhaps the spark never happened. Jesus remained like a book that was read, or perhaps only briefly opened, and then placed back on the shelf. And so, between Jesus and Peter, there is a very profound moment, very profound movement, I would say. It begins with the question, "Who are you for me?" Peter, "Who are you for me?" But it eventually becomes another question. "Who are you for me?" Who am I when I am with you? When you are here, what do you feel here? When you are with the Lord, with the Word of God, and with the Holy Eucharist, what do you feel that you are? This is the heart of Christian faith. Faith is not simply knowing who Jesus is. Faith is discovering who I become when I am with Jesus. What happens to me when I allow Christ to enter my life? Does his presence make me more generous? Does it make me more patient? Does it make me more capable of forgiveness? Does it change the way I look at other people? Does it change the way I speak? Does it change the way I respond when I am hurt? Does it make me more willing to serve? Because knowledge that does not transform life remains only knowledge. We know this from ordinary human experience. Studying art does not automatically make someone an artist. Studying philosophy does not automatically make someone a philosopher. Reading every book about love does not automatically make someone a loving person. In the same way, studying the catechism or theology does not automatically make us Christians. Christianity is not simply something we know. It is something we become. It is something we become. Many of our Catholics come to us, to the priest, and say, do you know, the Protestant pastors know very well about the Bible. They come to us with this complaint that the Protestant pastors know very well about the Bible. But my question is, if you know the Bible, why did you prefer division in the church? Why did you prefer division in the church if you know the Bible? This is my question to them. When you claim that you know, that knowledge must transform your life. Otherwise, it will remain only as information that you know. The same thing that I'm telling about our relationship with Jesus. It is something we become when we claim that we know Jesus, we know Christ. We are called to become like Christ. We're called to become the sons of God, daughters of God, beloved sons of God, so that God can say, this is my beloved sons. Right? And this is why Jesus seems less interested in what people are saying about him than in what his disciples are saying in the gospel. Today we might say that Jesus is not interested in the number of likes in the Facebook, likes. He's not interested in likes. Public opinions, he does not care. He is not concerned with popularity. He asks those who have chosen to follow him, who do you say that I am? What is your personal experience being with me? What do you say that I am? And perhaps this question challenges us because we live in a world where we can easily become obsessed with the opinions of others. We want to be accepted. We want approval. We want people to like us. We sometimes change ourselves simply to fit in. But Jesus calls us to something deeper. We do not need to chase the approval of the crowd. What matters is the truth of the relationships that have touched our hearts and helped us become who we are. And above all, what matters is the relationship with Christ. Because if I truly encounter Christ, something should happen within me. The knowledge of Christ should become my life. It should become creative. It should become generous. It should become fruitful. It should produce something new in us and through us. And perhaps this is where the image of a spark becomes especially beautiful. When two people fall in love, something mysterious can happen between them. There is an attraction that is difficult to explain completely. Perhaps our relationship with Jesus contains something similar. There is already a spark on God's side. Jesus does not need to learn how to love us. He is already in love with us. The initiative is His. He is constantly sending us signs of His love through His word, through the people we meet, through the moments of grace, through the experiences of our lives, through the Eucharist, through the forgiveness, through the quiet moments of our hearts, through the quiet movements of our life. The question is whether we are attentive enough to recognize Him. Perhaps the invitation today is simply this: create the conditions for the spark to grow. Spend time with Jesus. Listen to His word. Speak to Him honestly. Do not treat prayer as merely an obligation. Do not treat the gospel as simply another text to be read. Stay with Him long enough for knowledge to become relationship, and for relationship to become love. And perhaps little by little, something mysterious will begin to happen. Our heart will begin to beat more like His heart. More like His heart. We are called to imitate Him. We are called to become like Him. We are called to imitate His heart. His passion will begin to become our compassion. His patience will begin to become our patience. His forgiveness will begin to become our forgiveness. His love will begin to shape the way we love. His cross will begin to become our cross. And perhaps this is what it truly means to be a Christian. To learn day after day, to make our heart beat together with the heart of Christ. So today, dear brothers and sisters, Jesus asked each one of us, who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? Let us not be satisfied with an answer that exists only in our minds. Let us allow the answer to descend into our hearts. Into our hearts. You know, when I was in a parish, and almost every Sunday after the Holy Mass, some of the people used to come to me and used to tell me, Father, today the homily was very good. And I used to tell them, I would not take this appreciation. I would take this appreciation when my homily will change your life. And when I see the change in your life, I will take that appreciation for me, that I did something for you. So there is, when someone speaks very well, very sweet to hear. Very sweet to hear. But that knowledge, what you learn, what you receive, should transform your life. Otherwise, useless. Otherwise, useless, you're coming to the church. Why do you come to the church? Why? Every time you come to the church, please make this question to yourself. Why do you come to the church? Why do you hear the gospel, the word of God? Why do you receive the Holy Communion? Please ask this question to yourself. Not for the grace only, that your life will be very smooth, you will get the success. Not for this only. You come here to know Jesus Christ, to know the love of Christ, so that that love will transform your life, so that you can become the sons and daughters of God, God's loving people, God's loving people. So, then let us ask the second question. Who am I when I am with you, Jesus? When you come to the church, when you are with the Lord, please ask yourself who you are with the Lord. When you are with the Lord, who you are when you are with the Lord. May the spark of His love become alive in us. May our knowledge become relationship. May our relationship become love. May our love become life. And may our hearts gradually learn to beat in rhythm with the heart of Christ.